day in Manhattan, clear as could be, till the planes hit the buildings and changed history. They stood for an hour once the damage was done, but then suddenly crumbled. 10 seconds they were gone. There were cascading projections of steel into dust. It looked like explosions, but it was not discussed. So I turned off the TV and shut out the lights. It's all just illusion right in front of my eyes. Well, I'm not scared of dying. We're all bound for heaven, just sharing the truth about 9/11. Now building number 7 dropped the cleanest of all, yet the world still knows nothing of this amazing free fall. There was no real reason. It wasn't hit by a plane. They say it was a fire, yet you can't see the flames. You see cascading projections of steel into dust. Looks like demolition, but it's never discussed. So I turn off the TV and shut out the lights. It's all just illusion right in front of my eyes. Well, I'm not scared of dying. We're all bound for heaven, just sharing the truth about 9/11. They say that the bigger the lie, the more people believe, and the deeper the fear, the more easily we are deceived. Turn off the TV and I shut out the lights. It's all just illusion right in front of my eyes. Well, I'm not scared of dying. We're all bound for heaven, just sharing the truth about 9/11. Yes, I'm sharing the truth about 9/11.
Okay, sharing the truth about 9/11. I got an email from somebody who said, that song's too long. Well, I don't think it is, but then I like it. But I'll issue this kind of a contest for you folks out there. If any of you can make an intro video that's, say, 30 seconds to a minute long for 9/11 was an inside job show and other state crimes against democracy. Well, we've got a lot of things to talk about today, including the new assault by the Democrat version of Fox News, that's MSNBC. Remember how Fox News would tell any lie, no matter how big it was, to support the Bush administration? Well, guess what? It's the same way with MSNBC and the Obama administration. We'll be getting to that a little bit later. We're going to have a clip from Larry Pinkney, who's the former Minister of Information for the original Black Panthers. And you couldn't ask for a better human being, I say. Okay, well, right now, remember a couple episodes back, I played the First prize winner of the Alex Jones Paul Revere Operation Paul Revere contest. It was a $100,000 winner. Well, today we're going to play, the first clip we're going to play is American Drone. It's the second place winner. I think it should have been first, but they were so close, you know, I guess flip a coin. But I think maybe the prizes should have been closer. First prize was $100,000 and the second prize was $10,000. Whoa. Okay. Well, if you're ready in the control room, let's go ahead and play this. It's about 20 minutes and watch it. It's scary. It's a drama. It's not supposed to be fact, but it's just like Dragnet. What you're about to see is, you know, based on real facts. Only the names have been changed to protect the guilty. Okay, anyway, go ahead and roll it.
He's heading for the shed.
Yeah, spotted us. Man, is he booking it? Target's in the shed. Permission to prosecute.
Negative. Circle the compound and stand by.
Did we get a PID on the target?
That's what we're working on. Stand by.
Copy.
Okay, Jackwood 84, go ahead and prosecute the target.
Hell yeah. Master armed. Sensor, you ready?
Establishing track. Track established.
Copy. Launching Hellfire. 3, 2, 1. Rifle.
Impact in 10 seconds.
Whoa, whoa. What's that? Was that a kid? I guess we just killed a kid. Ground Command, did you see this? Ground Command, did you see?
Roger that, Major. We did. Playback confirms it was a goat. I repeat, it was a goat. Jackwood 84, you just eliminated a high-value individual. Good work, gentlemen, and congratulations.
How was work? Brendan, say hi to your dad.
Hi, Dad.
Turn that down, son.
Brendan, listen to your dad.
What?
Turn it down.
Game over.
Game over. Game over.
Wasn't a goat. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking it's like a video game, and I get it, you know, the keyboard, the joystick, but in actuality, it's nothing like a video game. There are real consequences for your actions, real lives at stake.
Your occupation seems awfully similar to what a video gamer might experience. Would you say
People
that...
always ask me that, you know, and it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that it's like a video game, and I get it, you know, the screen, the joystick, the keyboard, but in actuality, it's nothing at all like a video game. Right? Your actions have real consequences. There are real lives at stake.
And that also means civilian lives, obviously, and not just your troops on the ground.
Right, of course.
Have you personally been responsible for civilian casualties?
Ma'am, that's not an approved question.
Well, it's my job to keep the public informed.
The only questions we will answer are the ones on the list.
Agent, if I may, the only civilian casualty that I'm responsible for was a goat.
A goat?
Yeah, you know, a kid.
A kid?
Yeah, we killed a kid.
A kid meaning goat. All right, it's time. Ma'am, you finish up your questions, please. Anything else you'd like to ask?
No, thank you. That was fantastic. Would I be able to get a photo of you? It was great talking to you, Staff Sergeant.
Williams.
Yes, sir.
We see everything.
Hi, this is Kelvin Williams.
Oh, hey. What's this,
I want to apologize for that awkward moment back there earlier.
You mean the thing with the goat?
Yeah, I shouldn't have. I just haven't been getting a lot of sleep lately, so
Was it really a goat? You sound like you want to talk.
Listen, just don't print any of that, okay?
Calvin, I can tell something's bugging you, and you want to do the right thing, right? I'm trying to uncover a story about drones being used on U.S. soil. Can you tell
That's
me?
just reconnaissance.
Well, that's bad enough already, but I'm talking armed missions. I need someone to
I
give...
can't be having this conversation right now, okay? Good luck.
Words do make a difference, and I would feel a little more comfortable if we would get in writing a letter that says he doesn't believe killing people not actively engaged in combat with drones in America on American soil is constitutional. Sure would have short-circuited and saved quite a bit of time. I will say, though, that I'll believe a little more of the sincerity of the President and of the Attorney General if we were to get a public endorsement of the bill that says drones can't be used except for under imminent threat.
Hey.
Hey. Wonder what poor bastard's gonna die today, right?
Nobody. It's a training exercise.
Training exercise? For what?
I don't know. They didn't say. It's domestic. Ground Command, this is Jackboot 84. Do we have an eye in the sky?
Negative, Jackboot 84. We're awaiting launch.
At least I know I'll go home today not having killed anyone.
It's just a job, dude. Nothing but a bunch of pixels on the screen. That's the way I look at it. That kid the other day, that got to me. I didn't sleep for a week.
Me too. I've been seeing goats everywhere. Goats. Losing my damn mind.
I screwed up, man. Maybe you're not right for this.
Maybe what we're doing ain't right. You ever think about it, Pete? I mean, you can't hear these missiles coming. You can't hide from them. You can't...
You got something to hide? Hey, Cal? I don't like what I'm hearing. You sound like those InfoWars nut jobs.
What if they start using them here? Huh, Pete? No trial, no due process, just execution.
Kelvin?
We're executioners. That's what we are.
I hope you weren't transmitting.
Okay, Jackboot 84, the eyes in the sky. This is a classified domestic training exercise. Orders straight from the top. Major input coordinates from the chat window and place the bird on autopilot while we brief you.
Copy.
Okay, the mission is to prosecute a high-value individual, a domestic terrorist living on American soil. We hacked the target's email and have evidence of his participation in a terrorist network. And on it goes, boys. Blah, 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 blah. We will circle around the target's place of residence, wait for him to travel by car to a remote location so we can prosecute the target safely. Do you copy?
Yes, Ground Command. Copy that.
Sensor.
Copy. Target in sight.
That's it, guys. Follow the car.
Copy.
Hold your fire. Could be too much collateral damage in this area. Keep following the target.
Copy.
This is not an exercise.
What?
This is not an exercise.
What is it now, Kelvin?
I know her. That's the reporter that interviewed me.
Seriously?
She said something about uncovering a story. They want us to take her out.
You need to see a doctor, Kel. The paranoia is freaking me out.
I am telling you, Pete, this is for real.
Why would they lie to us?
I don't know. All I know is that that's the reporter that interviewed me. I told her about the kid, and now they want us to act like we're taking her out? It's weird, no? They'll probably just say it was a mistake or something.
You're dangerous.
Jackwood 84, what's the holdup? Target is out of sight.
Ground command. Sorry. Airman Williams' flight suit got stuck on his seat. And I helped him get it unstuck.
Roger that, Major. Continue following target.
Copy. Following target.
Ground command, I noticed that the target is female, not male.
Copy that, Staff Sergeant. Good eye, but that's irrelevant for this training exercise. Proceed with the mission.
Copy.
You need to stop with this crap. You're gonna get us both court-martialed.
I'm telling you, Pete, something is not right.
And you seem to forget that I'm your ranking officer, and I'm ordering you to cease with this crap. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Permission to speak freely.
Denied.
Come on, Pete. What are you going to do if we blow up this car today?
Cal.
On U.S. soil. A U.S. citizen. Training exercise or not. Don't tell me that doesn't sound a little crazy to you.
It's legal, Kelvin. Don't watch the news. The only thing you need to be worried about right now is following orders. Understand? One more peep out of you, you'll face insubordination. Are we clear?
Crystal.
Target is stopped under those trees.
Yes, we see that, Major. The trees are no problem. Go ahead and prosecute the target.
Copy. Master armed. Sensor, you ready? Sensor, are you
Track
ready?
established.
Copy. Launching Hellfire. 3, 2, 1. Rifle. Whoa, what's that?
Holding track, impacting 7.
Sensor, did you see that?
Yes, copy. Looked like a goat or something, impacting 3.
What just... Ground command, this is an armed predator? I repeat, we did not know this was an armed MQ-1.
Roger that, Major. This is a gross error. We're looking into that right now.
What did I tell you?
Oh my god, we just killed someone!
Jackwood 84 will investigate playback and figure out what happened here. Remember, you were following orders for a classified mission. Let's keep it that way. Mine will follow.
I don't believe this is happening.
Come on.
Roger that, Major. We will advise you if any further briefing is required on this matter.
Yes! She made it. She made it. This is her. It'll be all over the news tomorrow. You watch.
Yeah, Lionel? I'm sending you a video. Post it right away. We got him.
Hey, go ahead and play the whole credit. Play that whole credit through if you can. Okay, yeah, it's only fair. The winner of the second place winner, anyway, should have all his credits go out over the air in case there's any, I don't know, entertainment executive who wants to hire them for making videos or something. Well, anyway, we're going to move along now. That was awesome, really, and it's really hard to watch if you pay attention to it. It should connect right to your gut. Well, anyway, now, like I was saying earlier about MSNBC being to the Obama administration the way Fox News was to the Bush administration, and let's also let you know that MSNBC has very, very few viewers, and it's dwindling on a regular basis. Alex Jones, on the other hand, the one reliable source of information, it turns out, all these Snowden leaks and other leaks that have been, leaked to the press, it turns out that stuff that Alex Jones was saying 5, 10, last year, 1 year ago, turned out to all be true, and as I said on this show earlier, we're not conspiracy theorists. You could call us conspiracy analysts, but I think it's more appropriate to call us historians. Anyway, let's move on to this latest issue. MSNBC has started absolute propaganda campaign against Alex Jones. Remember, Alex Jones was the one who blew the plans of the government with their false flag Boston bombing operation. It was the Alex Jones group that immediately highlighted what was going on and made them change their plans. They were originally going to blame a militia, a right-wing militia, but Alex Jones pointed out that they were all staged government players. And anyway, I thought it was great. They had to change their tactics and immediately come up with, well, it was this, Russian guy. Well, anyway, MSNBC is taking it to a new level of lies. They said Alex Jones is paid to be a racist. Further, Alex Jones is responsible for the bombings in Boston. Okay, well, let's play a little bit here. And this is, as I said, is the former Minister of Information for the original Black Panthers, Larry Pinkney. So let's go ahead and roll that one. It's about 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the grassroots organic resistance to the technocratic takeover. And the 18-year growth curve of this installation in Austin, Texas, that is designed to expose the globalist dehumanization program is going into a major growth phase that worries the enemy. And I use words like that, that's not lightly used. Politico says the cyber war is against the media and the American people. Even Politico, which is a bunch of bootlickers of the White House, says that. And you can go back 3 years ago to our article where Cyber Command said, we're going to take over the media, we're going to shut down our this is all illegal. They hate the troops, they're drugging the troops, they're giving them cancer viruses, and then they come out and say, I'm a prophet and part of a deeply racist thing when we try to preach unity of liberty and freedom. And MSNBC comes out and then tries to say that the Boston bombers, who haven't even been convicted, the one living guy's pled not guilty, clearly being set up, clearly a staged deal. Even mainstream news has said that they were my listeners and libertarians, and now the libertarians at the Boston bombing. See, they're not scared about Republicans. They had Steele, the former head of the RNC, on there agreeing that I'm deeply racist, and I'm paid to be racist. Larry Pinkney, who's part of the real Black Panthers, the original Black Panthers that called for unity and justice, not the modern Fed-run ones that are like the Black Klan to create division. He wanted to pop in this segment and the next and talk about this, and I think that's important to get his take on this. And he's, of course, syndicated columnist, you name it. And, sir, what do you make of this? It seems like a desperation move here.
Absolutely. My brother, it's good to be with you, Alex. Let me put it this way. Let's understand who MSNBC and the rest of these running dogs actually are. Who are they? They are, in fact, the representatives of the national and global power elite. Let's understand that. When they talk about racist and racism, come on, they are the racists, the hypocrites, the racists. Let's understand that. They're taking the color card and doing everything they can to turn it around on anyone, including you, Alex, anyone who dares speak the truth, who dares to get people to critically think. So let's understand the source. This is despicable, but it is not at all unexpected. We have to expect they're going to be doing this more and more and more. Oh, if you don't support Obama. Oh, if you don't support the Democrats. Oh, if you don't support the Republicans. Get real. The fact of the matter is especially with respect to an outlet such as MSNBC, where are they? They want to talk about racism? Let's talk about the racism of Obama, who is killing, murdering, maiming brown, black, white people all over this world. But let's hone in on quote-unquote people of color, the black and brown babies that he's murdered and is still murdering with his drone missiles, Mr. Drone Man, Mr. Kill List, Barack Obama. Why don't they talk about that? Why don't they talk about the racism of Obama and the Democrats, not to mention the Republicans, them too, because they're supporting them? Okay, why don't they deal with that? But no, they're apologists. And you know what they are apologists for? They are apologists for 21st century fascism.
And they must be desperate.
Yeah, okay, we're just going into an Alex Jones infomercial, blah, okay. And on cable access, we're not allowed to, do that type of thing. I would just simply recommend that if you get your views from television news, you'll only hear information that the corporations choose. They're flashing me like, what's that, a live call already or something? Oh, you mean you were ready? Okay, sorry. We have a light flashing that we use when we get live calls, and we're using it to tell me that we're ready to keep going. Okay, so anyway, boy, those were harsh words that he had for Obama, but right on. It's about time somebody said it. Literal.
Pinkney, one of the original members of the first real Black Panther Party, not the federally controlled one, that creates division, is joining us, cutting right to the chase, saying in about 4 minutes what I said in the last hour, but better, that it's just outrageous to know that they consciously don't show one racist thing I say, and then they cut it into white supremacist, and then cut back to me, and then cut to the Zarnev brothers, Zohar and Tamerlan, who have clearly been set up, and then say they're libertarians and that they're racist whites. I mean, it's getting really bizarre, folks, that they're trying to equate not being a Republican or Democrat with being a racist or a terrorist. And it shows you've got the former head of the RNC up there saying that I'm paid to be racist. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we just showed me protesting the Klan last week. The whole point is it doesn't even matter. I mean, next they're going to say Martin Luther King's a grand dragon or something. I mean, these people are out of their minds. I mean, I know they know what they're doing, but it's got to be a panic switch. What does this mean now when Sebelius says if you don't support Obamacare written by the offshore banks to rip everybody off, you're a racist? Since when can they just say you support terrorists or you're a racist with no proof, Larry?
Well, they will be able to say this for as long as we, the people, allow them to say this. We need to turn these tables. We need to reverse it. We need to make it clear that we see if they want to deal with racism, we can deal with racism. We can point out that in North Africa, where black and brown people are being killed by Obama, where in Somalia, East Africa, where black people are being killed by Obama, in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and where Obama is murdering people on a regular basis, and I'm talking about children, women, and men, old and young, yeah, we can deal with racism. We can talk about who the real racists are. And yes, Alex, they are desperate. Therefore, they are going to try and pull every despicable, ridiculous action that they possibly can. We need to take this on for what it's worth, understand it for what it's worth, but not be too diverted by it, because they want to divert us and stop us from uniting black, white, brown, red, and yellow people in this country and throughout the world, but especially in the United States, need to understand that we are being targeted. You know, I listened to the segment where you were talking to the sergeant, and I thought to myself, yes, those troops are being targeted just as ordinary, everyday human beings who are citizens of this nation are TIs, targeted individuals. Oh, yes, this is real. This is not make-believe. This is not science fiction. I only wish that it were. So what this means is we are making headway. We, when I say we, I mean we the people, black, white, brown, red, and yellow people. And the corporate lamestream, lying posterior media, which is controlled by the corporations and the CIA, speaking of the CIA, okay, they are desperate to keep us ignorant and divided. We will not go for it. We will not go for it. I say now in the year 2013, as I've said back in the day with the Black Panther Party, the original Black Panther Party, all power to the people. All power to the people. Black, white, brown, red, and yellow people. Don't let them disunite us. Don't be thrown off or unnerved by their ridiculous assertions, by their lies, by their machinations. Don't. You should be proud, Alex. You should be proud. Wear this with a badge of honor, or as a badge of honor.
Well, thank you, Larry. We'll talk to you again soon. He's in the Obama Deception 2 coming up. God bless you, sir. I mean, I do, but it's just so ridiculous. And it's really kind of creepy, though, to have, like, the former head of the RNC up there. I mean, it's just, we must be really getting to him. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Larry.
Okay, now, the attacks that MSNBC has been making on Alex Jones have been so outrageous lately, and her lack of support. I mean, she's the Rhodes Scholar. Of all people, she's got to know 9/11 was an inside job. So that means that she's deliberately lying for this group, in my opinion. But remember my favorite, Abby Martin from Russia Today? Breaking the Set with Abby Martin. If you aren't watching Abby Martin and Alex Jones and Gerald Celente and Webster Tarpley, and I could go on and on and on, then you're not really getting the news. And if you're watching MSNBC, Fox, or any of those stations, you're getting dumber. You're not getting smarter, you're getting dumber. Okay, so anyway, this is what Abby Martin had to say about Rachel Maddow.
There are very few people in the corporate media that I actually enjoy watching, and more than just for entertainment. Well, Rachel Maddow is one of those people. She's a seasoned anchor at MSNBC who has a powerful presentation and has made some epic rants. However, she also wouldn't be where she is if she didn't serve a particular role for the establishment. And as critical as she may be of Obama from time to time, at the end of the day, she's there to promote the Democratic Party, which she does quite well by not only conducting softball interviews with prominent politicians, but by fear-mongering her audience constantly about the GOP. Now, I'm not saying that the Republican Party doesn't deserve ridicule. What I am saying is that both parties are equally complicit in the disastrous policies that are destroying this country. But recently, Maddow has gone beyond her usual partisan politics and is connecting obscure dots to make some pretty startling conclusions in the wake of the Boston bombings.
The headline, and I think also in some ways the bottom line, of the Boston Marathon bombing has been that the reason for the bombing was radical Islam, that the bombers were inspired by the online Al-Qaeda magazines. They committed the bombing for the same cockamamie conspiratorial nonsense that we've all had to become so familiar with. But if this new reporting from the BBC and the Wall Street Journal is correct, that may not have been the only conspiratorial nonsense radicalism that was at work here. I mean, really, pick your poison, right? I mean, it's the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which Tamerlan Tsarnaev also apparently had a nice copy of. It's the Protocols of Zion, or it's 9/11 Truth, or it's what Anwar al-Awlaki sold to Nidal Malik Hassan. There's always been an appeal to this necrotizing conspiracy theory radicalism, which almost always butts up against justifying violence.
Wow. So according to Maddow, conspiracy theories are almost always used as justification for violence. And the Tsarnaev brothers were not radicalized by Islam alone, but were also by conspiracy theories, namely those regarding 9/11. Of course, she forgets to mention that Dzhokhar himself allegedly said that U.S. foreign policy was the motivating factor behind the attacks, but I digress. Then Maddow compares Anwar al-Awlaki's teachings to people who aren't satisfied with the official 9/11 story. Think about how dangerous that rhetoric is for 1 second. What does it say about the 9/11 victims' family members who are unfulfilled with the... Well, Rachel Maddow is one of those people. She's a seasoned anchor at MSNBC who has a powerful presentation and has made some epic rants. However, she also wouldn't be where she is if she didn't serve a particular role for the establishment. And as critical as she may be of Obama from time to time, at the end of the day, she's there to promote the Democratic Party, which she does quite well by not only conducting softball interviews with prominent politicians, but by fear-mongering her audience constantly about the GOP. Now, I'm not saying that the Republican Party doesn't deserve ridicule. What I am saying is that both parties are equally complicit in the disastrous policies that are destroying this country. But recently, Maddow has gone beyond her usual partisan politics and is connecting obscure dots to make some pretty startling conclusions in the wake of the Boston bombings.
The headline, and I think also in some ways the bottom line, of the Boston Marathon bombing has been that the reason for the bombing was radical Islam, that the bombers were inspired by the online Al-Qaeda magazines. They committed the bombing for the same cockamamie conspiratorial nonsense that we've all had to become so familiar with. But if this new reporting from the BBC and the Wall Street Journal is correct, that may not have been the only conspiratorial nonsense radicalism that was at work here. I mean, really, pick your poison, right? I mean, it's the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which Tamerlan Tsarnaev also apparently had a nice copy of. It's the Protocols of Zion, or it's 9/11 Truth, or it's what Anwar al-Awlaki sold to Nidal Malik Hassan. There's always been an appeal to this necrotizing conspiracy theory radicalism, which almost always butts up against justifying violence,
Wow. So according to Maddow, conspiracy theories are almost always used as justification for violence. And the Tsarnaev brothers were not radicalized by Islam alone, but were also by conspiracy theories, namely those regarding 9/11. Of course, she forgets to mention that Dzhokhar himself allegedly said that U.S. foreign policy was the motivating factor behind the attacks, but I digress. Then Maddow compares Anwar al-Awlaki's teachings to people who aren't satisfied with the official 9/11 story. Think about how dangerous that rhetoric is for 1 second. What does it say about the 9/11 victims' family members who are unfulfilled with the investigation? What about the countless millions of people around the world who are unsatisfied with what the government told us happened and why? Or how about the groups of firefighters, architects, scientists, and world leaders who have also expressed their doubts? Should they all be flagged as potential terrorist threats too? But look, this isn't the first time Rachel has acted as an echo chamber for the government's position on 9/11. She once dedicated a whole segment on her show just to promote it.
Two of the best things ever published about the 9/11 attacks are these two books. I think that was a really admirable approach to try to make widely accessible the findings of the 9/11 report. But the even better thing they did is that they published an official comic book of the same report. It's the official graphic novel, a graphic adaptation of the real 9/11 Commission report.
Awesome. Thanks for recommending the Commission report and its dumbed-down comic book version. Nothing like a cartoon to help digest the propaganda a little bit easier. But Maddow's not just selling propaganda. She's also character assassinating anyone who feels like we haven't been given the truth. Well, Rachel Maddow is one of those people. She's a seasoned anchor at MSNBC who has a powerful presentation and has made some epic rants. However, she also wouldn't be where she is if she didn't serve a particular role for the establishment. And as critical as she may be of Obama from time to time, at the end of the day, she's there to promote the Democratic Party, which she does quite well by not only conducting softball interviews with prominent politicians, but by fear-mongering her audience constantly about the GOP. Now, I'm not saying that the Republican Party doesn't deserve ridicule. What I am saying is that both parties are equally complicit in the disastrous policies that are destroying this country. But recently, Maddow has gone beyond her usual partisan politics and is connecting obscure dots to make some pretty startling conclusions in the wake of the Boston bombings.
The headline, and I think also in some ways the bottom line, of the Boston Marathon bombing has been that the reason for the bombing was radical Islam, that the bombers were inspired by the online Al-Qaeda magazines. They committed the bombing for the same cockamamie conspiratorial nonsense that we've all had to become so familiar with. But if this new reporting from the BBC and the Wall Street Journal is correct, that may not have been the only conspiratorial nonsense radicalism that was at work here. I mean, really, pick your poison, right? I mean, it's the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which Tamerlan Tsarnaev also apparently had a nice copy of. It's the Protocols of Zion, or it's 9/11 Truth, or it's what Anwar al-Awlaki sold to Nidal Malik Hassan. There's always been an appeal to this necrotizing conspiracy theory radicalism, which almost always butts up against justifying violence, justifying...
Wow. So according to Maddow, conspiracy theories are almost always used as justification for violence. And the Tsarnaev brothers were not radicalized by Islam alone, but were also by conspiracy theories, namely those regarding 9/11. Of course, she forgets to mention that Dzhokhar himself allegedly said that U.S. foreign policy was the motivating factor behind the attacks, but I digress. Then Maddow compares Anwar al-Awlaki's teachings to people who aren't satisfied with the official 9/11 story. Think about how dangerous that rhetoric is for 1 second. What does it say about the 9/11 victims' family members who are unfulfilled with the investigation? What about the countless millions of people around the world who are unsatisfied with what the government told us happened and why? Or how about the groups of firefighters, architects, scientists, and world leaders who have also expressed their doubts? Should they all be flagged as potential terrorist threats too? But look, this isn't the first time Rachel has acted as an echo chamber for the government's position on 9/11. She once dedicated a whole segment on her show just to promote it.
Two of the best things ever published about the 9/11 attacks are these two books. I think that was a really admirable approach to try to make widely accessible the findings of the 9/11 report. But the even better thing they did is that they published an official comic book of the same report. It's the official graphic novel, a graphic adaptation of the real 9/11 Commission report.
Awesome. Thanks for recommending the Commission report and its dumbed-down comic book version. Nothing like a cartoon to help digest the propaganda a little bit easier. But Maddow's not just selling propaganda. She's also character assassinating anyone who feels like we haven't been given the truth.
This was written specifically to take on the claims of the people who said that 9/11 didn't really happen, or that 9/11 was an inside job, that 9/11 was not actually an attack on our country, but was rather a hoax perpetrated by our government in order to enslave us or something. It didn't work. The 9/11 conspiracies have stood up to the facts disproving them. The 9/11 conspiracies have not gone away because they are too ideologically and I think emotionally satisfying to the people who espouse them.
Yeah, Rachel, because someone who wants the truth about why things are the way they are must believe that 9/11 either never happened or that it was a hoax or that the government completely engineered every facet in order to enslave humanity. Because apparently it's too hard to believe that this government would not care about the lives of human beings in order to advance geopolitical goals. Is it really too hard to believe the fact that Bush and his cabinet turned a blind eye to let the attacks happen or even ensure that they happened? According to Maddow, it's somehow more comforting for people to accept the view that the government would allow them to die to justify war. But wait a minute. Isn't that exactly what she thinks?
That is why the new bombshell reporting by Kurt Eichenwald, which ran as an op-ed in today's New York Times, but is also in his new book, is so important. Mr. Eichenwald, in reporting for this new book, says it was not just that famous bin Laden determined to strike in the U.S. presidential daily briefing that the Bush administration received and ignored less than a month before 9/11, just over a month before 9/11. It was a whole series of presidential daily briefs, all through May and June and July of 2001, all warning of a planned major strike by al-Qaeda in the United States, which then, of course, ultimately happened in September of that year. There's a responsibility to get history right for its own sake, right?
Yes, Rachel, it is. And letting 9/11 happen is making it happen. And I commend you for being critical of war, critical of many of the empire's destructive policies. But until you start asking questions about what drives these policies, you're doing nothing more than perpetuating them.
Okay, man. It's just amazing to watch Rachel Maddow. And yes, it is important to get it right just for the sake of history. Wouldn't it be nice if you started trying that? You know, I'll state right here, I'll give her a year of my Social Security if she can prove that 9/11 was not an inside job. You know, we can prove it was. The fact that it was explosives, which you cannot debunk. There have been a bunch of fools out there trying to, you know, take you for a fool when they say that, you know, there are no explosives in the building. But the fact that there were explosives and the fact that it really can't be debunked means that it had to be an inside job, Rachel. Okay, well, anyway, sorry about the instant replay on a whole bunch of that video. We thought we knew how to operate the equipment to get the time left on it, and all we did was make it back up. Sorry. But it was good emphasis, because it's ridiculous what Rachel Maddow said, and it was great that we had an emphasis on it so that you understand she really did say that, and she really did recommend the 9/11 comic book, which, by the way, I have been trying to find. You search the internet, you can't even get an online copy of it. So what's with this comic book idea? Well, let's go back, and we're going to see about a 3-minute clip from Alex Jones. This is what happens each night on their nightly news. They kind of sum up what they're going to talk about on the nightly news. But this one happens to be the night that Rachel Maddow suggested that Alex Jones was responsible for the Boston bombing. So we'll be back just in time for the credits. So enjoy.
Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. Here's what we have in store for you on this August 15th, 2013 edition.
Tonight, is InfoWars too popular for Rachel Maddow? As alarmed citizens watch militarized cops invade their neighborhood, a Marine Corps colonel says Homeland Security is building a domestic army. All that and more on tonight's InfoWars Nightly News.
And welcome back. Top story headline: MSNBC blames Boston bombings on deeply racist Alex Jones. Let's go to that clip of MSNBC and then Alex's response to that.
Let's go to this clip.
Alex Jones may sound crazy, but still has 300 million YouTube.
600 million.
300 million people that have watched him on YouTube. And that sort of fringe, arch-conservative, deeply, I think, racist strain is being tapped into at crazy profit by people in the media.
Well, it is. And I think that the point you just made is the key.
Crazy profit.
Crazy profit. These folks are getting paid to be racist. They're being paid to be ignorant.
Steele's the real one. Let's turn that off. By the way, we called a computer company yesterday in the afternoon who I guess had this on, and they said, we don't want to work with you because of your racism, basically. Boom, that's going to be in court. The damages are coming in right now. By the way, we know you got your crews lobbying to take down our YouTube channels and Facebook and Twitter. It's happened before. We got over 600 million views of different Alex Jones videos, not just the 320-something million on one channel that they've turned the clock back on before. They're scared of us, ladies and gentlemen, because they know that we know the truth. And then they go into how, yeah, these libertarians are bombing stuff. Malice of forethought with intent to do harm. Up there just saying racist, racist, racist to create division so we don't come together.
And this isn't the first time we've had this happen with MSNBC. You remember earlier this year we had this InfoWars too popular for Rachel Maddow. Now, this is a strange thing to give somebody credit for, but at least Rachel Maddow, she'll take a clip out of context. This other lady on MSNBC won't even do that. But, you know, here at InfoWars, if we say somebody said something, we'll show you an article with a link of that person actually saying it, or in an article where they said it. You know, they don't even do that anymore. So just get ready to be served your papers at MSNBC, and the world keeps spinning.
Now you can watch.
Okay, so you just heard the best testimony for that channel that I could give. You know, that, you know, anything they say has a complete bibliography and references, so you can go see the original source of the information. You know, many people say Alex Jones is too inflammatory, too flamboyant, too reactionary, too excitable, too, I don't know, too dire. Something, you know, he's always saying imminent doom, imminent doom. Well, what do you call it when our entire Constitution has been deliberately and maybe irrevocably destroyed? You know, that's pretty dire. And we know that everything that Alex Jones has been saying is true. The reason we know that is because, well, Snowden just made it real possible to verify most of the things. But aside from that, the track record he has, you know, you compare history against what he predicted. Yes. People always bring up things like he was an alarmist for the Y2K thing in the year 2000. But, you know, he brought attention to it. It turned out it wasn't that dire. But who else brought it up? I mean, who else brings up these other things? Nobody. You have to learn how to filter things, too. Always check things out. But I'll be back on the first Saturday in September. That's the Saturday before the 9/11 anniversary. And by then, we're going to see the Richard Gage presentation from Portland Community College. And, well, I think the first show, we're going to kind of go back over some 9/11 facts. We'll see what happens. But then 9/11, and then we'll come back after that. Enjoy.